Welcome to the program. I'm Okpeyemi Owosheni. We begin with business news. Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petrocan, has announced that it will sign a direct purchase agreement with 3 Nigerian refineries. This was disclosed in a notice on Tuesday, signed by the National President of Petrocan, Billy Gillis Ari, and the Secretary, Adedibu Aderibigbe. According to the notice, the agreement is expected to kick off to ensure affordable petroleum products for Nigerians nationwide. This comes as Petrocan in its New Year message hinted that price of petrol will reduce further in 2025. And individuals and businesses without a taxpayer identification number will no longer qualify for exemptions from withholding tax. This policy is part of the government's strategy to enhance revenue generation and improve tax compliance nationwide. Businesses have been urged to ensure that they are properly registered and compliant with the new regulations. The chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, Taiwo Yedeli, noted that the new tax measures have been designed to bolster compliance while simultaneously promoting business continuity among social and small enterprises. We'll go on a break now. I'll be back with more stories from the corporate world. Welcome back. Bua Refinery and Petrochemicals have clarified that its refinery project in Akwa Ibom is not at 90% completion, as stated in a misleading report. The company urged the public to disregard the claims, confirming that construction is progressing steadily and that the project is on track to meet its delivery timelines. In a statement released on the 6th of January, the company dismissed the 90% completion claim, emphasizing that the refinery is far from that stage. And Guinea Insurance has set its eyes on earning 1.75 billion naira in gross premium written in the first quarter of 2025. This was disclosed in its forecast income statement for the first quarter ended March 31st, 2025, which it filed with the Nigerian Exchange Limited at the close of the year. According to the forecast, the insurance company is projecting to see its net underwritten income standing at 1.32 billion naira with claims expenses of 180.69 million naira. We'll go on a break now, but when Money Matters return, we'll be discussing the Nigerian government's plan to establish a national credit guarantee company in May 2025. I'll bring you details after this break.
Not in my country.
Cut. All right. What's your name again? Kemi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Are you ready for us for next week?
Yes, sir.
Next.
No, sir. No.
What? Look, what we need here is one who can speak fluent English. Give her a chance.
I need a angel to hold me. Hold me, my beautiful angel.
Cut! It is Angel, not Angel. Please, I'm done with you. Excuse us. Kemi was far better.
It's not about our rendition. It's not about our performance here. By the time she and her friends join us in our hotel rooms, you will know how far.
Can I have her phone?
She has a robust profile.
Real robust profile. I do not undercut professional ethics. It is an act of corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. The Nigerian government is set to establish a national credit guarantee company in May 2025 to lend to businesses and individuals. President Bola Tinubu disclosed this in his New Year speech on Wednesday, January 1st, 2025, as part of his administration's economic reforms. Now, to achieve this, the Nigerian government will establish the National Credit Guarantee Company to expand risk-sharing instrument for financial institutions and enterprises. The company will partner with government institutions such as the Bank of Industry, Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Agency, and the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, as well as the private sector and multilateral institutions. According to the president, these initiatives will strengthen the confidence of the financial system, expand credit access, and support underserved groups such as women and youth. It will drive growth, reindustrialization, and better living standard for Nigerians. Now, let's discuss this further. Economist Aki Ogoshola now joins me on the program. It's good to have you on the program, Mr. Ogoshola. Now, what do you make of President Tinubu's decision to set up the National Credit Guarantee Company? The move, according to him, is designed to boost critical sectors of the economy and enhance national productivity. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. The move by the president to set up the National Credit Guarantee Company is a very good move, and is a move that is actually needed at this time, because it's a time that the value of the naira has actually, is struggling to come up. Inflation is very high, so people are finding it hard to actually have access to credit for them to kick off or to run their businesses, because the cost of running business is high. And some of them are finding it hard to approach the commercial banks to access loans to actually fund their business. So the credit guarantee scheme will, lessen the requirements of collateral and other, sureties and all that. So the scheme will lessen that burden on individuals and small businesses so that they can actually access credit for them to either start up a business or fund existing businesses.
But one of the strong points of this initiative mentioned by the president is that it will ensure financial inclusion. What other benefits do you think this particular scheme will have for Nigerians, especially for women, youth, and small-scale enterprises?
Yeah, another benefit is that it will help to reduce unemployment. We all know that the companies and the organization and the public sector government cannot actually employ almost everybody in the country. So one thing that this scheme will help to achieve is that it will help to create job for the youth, for the women, and also for Nigerians, as a whole. And it will also help to boost our economy. The GDP of the economy will be boosted because small-scale businesses have been the secret of, of booming economies, of making the GDP to actually grow. So if we have a lot of small businesses that are actually going on, there will be creation of jobs, people will be employed one way or the other, whether directly or indirectly, and also the GDP will also grow.
Given the multi-stakeholder nature of this particular initiative, how do you expect the collaboration between the Nigerian government, private sector, and multilateral institutions to impact the success of the National Credit Guarantee Company?
Yeah, the partnership between the government and the private sector and other stakeholders is very, very important, because government cannot cannot employ the teeming youths in Nigeria, but the government can provide a conducive environment and also provide access to credit. Government has some funds that it can actually, make available for people to have access, at very low rates, and also at guaranteed return, on this loan. So government can make that available, and the private sector also can make business plans and also other forms of business ideas to actually come up. And with that, when finance is available and the business plan and ideas are available, we'll see businesses spring up. We'll see production in the economy. We'll see people gainfully employed and not just being idle. People will have something to do in the economy. And this will also help us in a long way to reduce insecurity, because we've tagged that unemployment has been the cause of insecurity in the country. So all this, we work together to see that Nigeria is better for it.
The NCGC aims to boost national economic output by improving access to credit. In your opinion, how do you think this will contribute to Nigeria's economic growth, especially in the current climate of declining credit demand?
Yeah, because of the declining credit demand, the scheme will now spur that need. When they said, okay, you can come and have access to a credit if you want to start a business with 200,000, with 500,000, people, if they see that the system is actually true and you can seamlessly have access to this credit, it will spur that entrepreneurial skill in our youth, in our women, for them to find something to do, since they can now have access to funds for them to fund their business ideas. So this is a very good initiative that will spur that entrepreneurship drive for individuals and also for small businesses. So that will make the economy to also grow, and it will make Nigeria to be productive rather than just consuming.
Well, Mr. Okushola, what will you say are the potential risks associated with expanding credit access through the NCGC, and how can they be managed to avoid the financial crisis in the country?
Yeah, very good. We've seen how government has approached or how they have handled the COVID-19 loan. They took their BVN, they took their NIN, they took details of persons that had access to this credit or loan. And with that access, with that information that they've collected, people cannot run away. Now they've collected their BVN. If they refuse to pay, their account will be liened, and any money that gets into any of their bank accounts will be taken as part of the repayment for the loan that they've taken. So the scheme, the idea of expanding credit and the idea of having financial crisis would not likely come up, because government know how to collect back their money. You cannot run away, because there are specific information that you'll be required to fill when you are having access to the fund. So there will be nothing like a financial crisis. And if anyone mismanages the fund or credits that he or she had access to, the person will still pay back one way or the other. So it will help to actually boost this economic drive of production, and that's the main initiative. That's what the president wants to achieve. He wants to make funds available for the youth, for them to be able to go into business, so that all this idleness, all this unemployment here and there will be reduced, and people will be engaged productively, not just taking their CVs up and down the street, say they don't have a job to do.
The NCGC aims to democratize access to consumer credit. How do you foresee this affecting Nigeria's inflation rate or consumer spending behavior in the short and medium term?
Yeah, in the short term, we might see a lot of money pumped into the economy, for people to do business. People are now having access to soft loans, low interest rates, credits. That will make money to come into circulation, and thereby possibly making inflation to still go up. But once these funds are channeled towards production, if they are channeled toward production, it will also lead to export, not just only production for local consumption. It will lead also to production for export. And if that is done, you will see that the fund that is available will not just be for Nigeria consumption. And as when people begin to export, people take advantage of the African Free Trade Zone Agreement, and then we begin to export to other African countries. We'll begin to earn foreign currency, we'll begin to earn hard currencies, and that will help to boost our economy. Instead of the inflation to continue to go up, by that, we will begin to see the Naira strengthen. And when the Naira is strengthening, inflation will also be, going down, because money is not just in circulation for consumption. Money is in circulation for production and employment.
Now, let's discuss the president's target of achieving a $1 trillion worth economy by 2026. How possible is this, and how much impact do you think this initiative will have in realizing this target, bearing in mind that 2026 is just next year?
Yeah, the president is making the move. We can see that our economy is now close to 50 trillion naira, and the economy is, growing bigger. And with the initiative of Mr. President on local, refining of petrol in Nigeria, not just for local refining, we will also see us exporting petroleum products from Nigeria. our economy is going to be bigger because we are now selling not just to Nigerian market, we are also selling to the Africa market, we are also selling to the European market and other nations around the world. So the economy is going to become bigger. Our GDP base is going to become wider, and it will be enough for foreign investors to still come in to begin to manufacture, to produce. Another thing that I know that the president is also seriously working on is power. Apart from the petroleum industry, once Mr. President succeeds in working on making power accessible and affordable, which he said on his first day in office, on an inaugural day, we'll begin to see private sector, private investors, foreign investors coming into the country, and Nigeria will become productive. All our iron steel company in Kogi State that's dead. We'll see power, it will be powered. We'll see so many other sectors of the economy being jump-started, and everything will be working. The economy will be big, and I think it's achievable because 2026 is just next year. And Nigeria is now in 2024 ending. We've started producing petrol. So the idea of this credit scheme is to boost the non-oil sector so that when the non-oil sector is also boosted, the oil sector now is boosted. You can see Nigeria is planning to be producing 2,000 barrels, 2 million barrels per day of crude oil every day. So there's a boost in that sector. And we are now also having the local refinery. There's also going to be a boost in gas production. And then now this credit scheme is now, tilting towards boosting production also for the non-oil sector so that we can also generate taxes and also boost economic growth. Just like I said, this credit scheme is not just for producing for local consumption. It's also targeted towards increasing our export. So once export is also increased as a way of people having access to credit for them to produce, we'll see that our economy can be boosted to a $1 trillion economy, possibly by the end of 2026.
Since he assumed office in May 2023, President Tinubu has introduced several initiatives and policies as part of effort to boost Nigeria's economy, which many citizens believe has had little positive impact in the last 19 months. Now, do you think this new initiative will make any tangible difference in the areas of economic development?
This initiative will obviously make difference. It will add a lot of energy to the economy, because many persons are crying that, yes, they have business ideas, but they lack funds for them to start up a business. And just like we said, if we can increase the number of small and medium-scale enterprises, we have just roughly above 60,000 SMEs registered in Nigeria. If we're able to boost that to, let's say, around 200,000 SMEs in Nigeria, we are going to succeed in creating employment. We will have succeeded also in increasing the taxes. Economic activities will have been boosted. Export will also have been increased. If Nigeria begins to export a lot of things, especially processed food, we are not going to be exporting raw materials, just extract the gold and export. In fact, some other initiatives have also been introduced that if you're extracting anything from Nigeria's soil, you have to, process it before you export. So many of these initiatives will help us to actually achieve that $1 trillion economy by 2026.
Now, finally, what do you think are the most important indicators we should watch to measure the success of the NCGC in the first year of its operations?
Yeah, the indicators that are necessary to look out for is to see how many persons, how many individuals, how many small businesses have had access to this credit scheme. The more the number, the more funds is rolled out in the economy for production. So we need to know how many people will be having access to it. We also need to know what is the duration, the payback period for this credit. Is it going to be for short-term credit? Is it going to be long-term? We also need to watch out for that. And then with that, we monitor. There's supposed to be a monitoring and evaluation as to, after 3 months, people that took this credit, how is their business idea? Because in the forms they will fill, they will mention what business plan that they have in mind for them, for that they want to finance. Because this loan is not meant for you to collect and go and use it to feed your family. It's meant for you to collect it and invest into a business. So there needs to be a monitoring and evaluation team that will follow them up on how they are also managing such businesses so that those businesses will not just die at their infant stages. So we need to look at those indicators. How many of these businesses or individuals that have access to this credit that are, growing within 6 months, within 1 year, how many of them? So these are the indicators that we need to look at, because once people are collecting the credit and they are not able to pay back, their business is not growing, possibly due to, high cost of doing business and other things, that will be a very bad signal for the CGC. So we need to monitor whether enough people are having access to it and how much. Is it just for, small amount, or at least up to 2 million, 3 million that an individual can have access to start a business. So this will help us to monitor it. And also, once this is also done, we can also see our inflation will begin to drop. Inflation rate will also begin to drop. Since the oil sector is being boosted, the non-oil too that the CGC is also trying to target will also be boosted. So we'll be watching out, and we believe that is a good idea, and we believe that it will work.
Well, economist Akin Ogushola, many thanks for joining me on the program. Well, that's it on this episode of the program. Many thanks for joining me. I'm Okpeyemi Owosheni. See you next time.